Hey, help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also hit that like button to subscribe if you want more Cavs-focused content.
Okay. All right. Squeeze that one out unexpectedly. The Spurs did make a push at the end of this game to get their only lead of the night. At the end of it would have been a tragic loss, but Cavs won, so not a tragic loss. Actually a triumphant victory as the Cavs move on to 62 wins, which means their magic number is down to 1, which means the next time Boston loses or the next time the Cavs win a basketball game, and since both these teams play tonight, I believe the Cavs will have the opportunity to clinch this before the Celtics can clinch it for the Cavs. Let me double check to make sure it's right. Yeah, the Celtics don't play again until Sunday, 6 p.m. The Cavs play, I believe, Sunday, 6 p.m. So the Cavs could clinch it by beating the Kings, or the Cavs could clinch it by the Celtics losing to the Wizards. So the Cavs going to have to beat the Kings. Celtics are not losing to the Wizards. But yeah, this game got close at the end. I think the Cavs did kind of take the gas off. I could understand why they took the gas off. There was a couple of really close calls when it came to injury at the end of this game. I think the most notable one was DeAndre Hunter. I saw something weird happen with Darius Garland's leg like sometime in the third. I don't know if you guys felt it watching at home. Maybe it's just me. But like in the fourth quarter of this game, I got really nervous because of how the Spurs were just flopping around out there kind of recklessly, that somebody was going to accidentally get injured on the Cavs side. I think that kind of got into the Cavs' head, or maybe it's just me, because you did see a notable turn down in intensity. And the Cavs did stop going to the cup as much as they were going to it previously, which took them out of rhythm a little bit. But they ended up winning the game. They almost blew this one, though, right? Like they truly did nothing to close this game out at the end, at least in the last minute and a half, when they had multiple opportunities to just get a bucket or two to quell the San Antonio run. Came down to a missed floater from Harrison Barnes, which shout out to Harrison Barnes, like the most forgotten starting small forward on an NBA championship team of all time. But all of that made the game interesting at the end, but the Cavs do win this game. Evan Mobley went absolutely off in this one. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. He was on fire to start this game. I thought we were going to get an Evan Mobley 40-point bomb in this one. He was really aggressive in the first, in second quarter especially. The aggression kind of tempered out as much as when the Cavs went up by 20 in this game. So he kind of chilled out a little bit, had 3 blocks, 1 steal. I got a video coming out either tomorrow or Monday about some of the ridiculousness that people are trying to rob Evan Mobley of Defensive Player of the Year. It's silly. And it's really unacceptable, right? And they only try this shit on people who don't have the big profile that can fight back against it. It's really goofy what they're trying to do with Draymond Green. Again, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna have a video drop about it soon. Jarrett Allen didn't really play much in this game. Seemed like he got some rest. 16 minutes, 2 for 2 from the floor, 4 points. Hopefully, health-wise, everything's okay with Jarrett, because that is kind of odd for him not to play. Maybe this is the Cavs basically giving him a rest day. We know that Jarrett wants to keep his starting game streak going. This is a way to give him the starting game streak while also giving him some intentional rest. So I think that was part of it. 4 points, 4 rebounds for Jarrett in 16 minutes. Super odd, right? So it has to be Kenny's way of getting Jarrett some rest, because if Jarrett's not going to sit out because he wants to streak, then you got to find a way to get him some rest. And we've seen Kenny do this a couple of times down the stretch where he just doesn't play Jarrett Allen that much. I think that's what it has to do with. Darius Garland He started to make some shots at the end of this game. He just did not. I don't know. They got to figure out what they want to do at end of games between Darius and Donovan. And I know Donovan is the more accomplished bucket getter and the more explosive bucket getter. But, man, my gut tells me that in a close game in the playoffs, I want DG having the ball in his hands and getting the choice first on what to do with it in end-of-game possessions, because he has more options available to him because of his skill set, right? He's a great three-point shooter, the floater game, right? He can finish around the hoop well, and then a little bit better of a playmaker than Donovan Mitchell is as well. So maybe that's something they can consider there at the end of the game, because it does feel a little bit more sloppy, a little bit more chunky when Darius and Donovan are both healthy in a clutch game situation versus when one of them are off the court because somebody's hurt. Like, it seems cleaner when one of them's off the court, but they both got to be out there in the playoffs. They just got to figure out how to handle that order of who gets the ball, and whose turn is it to be clutch, and so on and so forth. Let's see what else. Isaac Okoro was fine defensively today. Sam Merrill, I thought he had a pretty good game. Devontae Green jacked up way too many threes tonight. He jacked up like 4 of them, and he missed like 2 of them on one possession. Was not a fan of that. Craig Porter didn't really play much either, 6 minutes here. All in all, for like 3 quarters, this is the Cavs team that we know and love and that we've been watching all year. It makes sense that once the travel schedule chilled out, the 3-point percentage went up. And again, it's worth noting, Cavs shot 43% from 3 today. I know a lot of people were concerned about the dip in 3-point shooting over the last 30 days. But keep in mind, in that 30 days, the bulk of it took place over one of the weirdest travel schedules stretches an NBA team can have. And that kind of thing can certainly affect shooting. It's been known to affect shooting. And once the Cavs have gotten off that stretch, the shooting has gotten better. This is the team you've watched all season. I think that West Coast trip just kind of made things look a little bit more concerning than they actually are. Wish the Cavs would have finished this out a bit stronger, because they were having such a damn good day before that fourth quarter, right, where they only put up 23 points in the fourth, got outscored by 8 points in the fourth quarter. What did they do in the third? They got outscored pretty heavily in the third quarter, right? So the second half is kind of the reverse of what we saw against the New York Knicks, where the Cavs came out shooting really good in the first half, and then the second half just not so great. But they finished this one out. They get their 60-second win. At this point in the NBA season, a win is a win, and a win where your players leave and everybody's healthy is a doubly as good win. It does not matter if they're pretty at this point. The wins for the Cavs need to be functional. So Sunday, they're going to have the opportunity to lock up this 1 seed. If they can lock up this 1 seed, that gives them about a 2-week window to rest a ton, because if we look at the schedule for the Cavs, right, let's say they lock it up this Sunday versus the Sacramento Kings in Cleveland. They lock up the 1 seed then by winning the 1 game. That means the Celtics can't catch up. Celtics can't catch up means that you don't really have to go hard against the Bulls on Tuesday, nor the Pacers or Knicks on this back-to-back. And then you play the Pacers again on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I can almost promise you right now, if the Cavs clinch the 1 seed Sunday, they will have no starters available for that Sunday 1 o'clock game. And the Cavs will basically get a rest until, when is the end of the NBA play-in? But I think they get a week off, right? So NBA play-in, yeah, they get a week off because the play-in does not end until the 19th. And the first round starts. Yep. So the Cavs will get until the weekend of April 18th off, which means if they can clinch on Sunday, they can take it easy between the 7th and the 20th or the 18th, which means about 11 days off for the Cavs, which I believe will be the longest break they've had all year, even longer than the All-Star break. Yeah, that'd be longer than they got for the All-Star break, where they got from the 12th of February to the 20th of February. And remember, when the Cavs got that 8 days off, they went on an incredible win streak after that, their longest win streak of the season. So I think if you're the Cavs, there is a lot of value in locking up this 1 seed on Sunday. And I'm not saying you rest your starters the rest of the way. You play some guys here and there for the rest of the season. But you really do focus on getting these guys a lot of rest, because you're hoping this team makes it to the NBA Finals. If they make it to the NBA Finals, we're talking about 6 weeks of basketball ahead of you potentially for the Cavs. So you're going to need a lot of rest going into what is a second season. And it gives you an advantage. Boston's going to take that rest, right, once the 1 seed is no longer in play for them. And I think they are pretty aware that the 1 seed not going to be in play for them. So you're going to see them probably start to throttle down soon here in their last few games of the season, as the Cavs will do the exact same thing as well. But yeah, getting 11 days off, getting to practice. This is something the team has not been able to do a ton since getting DeAndre Hunter. I think they've had something like 8 or 9 practices maybe since they got DeAndre Hunter. You might get more practices in these next 11 days than you've gotten in the last month. So, that's going to be really good for this team, right? So lock up this 1 seed, right? Beat the Sacramento Kings, wrap it up so you can get to the playoffs nice and healthy, and get to the playoffs nice and healthy and well rested, so you can take care of business like you expect to take care of business in the playoffs, so you could be your best selves to try to win it all. But that's where the Cavs are, 1 game away from clinching a 1 seed. Did you think we would be talking about this at the beginning of the year, right? For anybody who wants to, I don't want to say complain, right? Because it's okay to complain about your team or have criticisms about your team. But really put it in perspective when you are making those criticisms and complaints about the team, that you did not expect this team to be the 1 seed, right? Your expectations have elevated because of what you've seen this team do. And because your expectations have elevated because of what you've seen this team do, it's always important that you give the team the benefit of the doubt once they're able to raise your expectations like this. Because if you don't, why not give somebody the benefit of the doubt if the only reason you believe at this level about this team is because of what this team has done? That body of work matters. And the Cavs have raised expectations. They're going to clinch this 1 seed, and that's just so far out the range of expectation. Nobody thought, after the way that the Boston Celtics won the championship last year, that the Cavs would get the 1 seed in the East next year. Nobody would have said that at the end of the season when we hired Kenny Atkinson. Nobody said that. And if somebody did, we would have just dismissed them as a crazy homer. But here we are. Cavs are 1 game away from locking up the 1 seed and getting to rest a fair bit amount. Also, this win puts the Cavs alone with the number 2 record in Cavs history. Now, in order to become the best Cavs regular season team in NBA or in Cavs history, they would have to win out, right? They win out, they're at win number 62. So they would have to get to 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. They would have to win out all the way through to get the best record in Cavs history. I think the rest is more important than having the Cavs hit that goal, even though it'd be nice. If they can rest and hit that goal, awesome. But I doubt it, because I think you can rest and beat Sacramento. I think you can rest and beat Chicago, even though you're not going to rest and try to beat Sacramento because you need that game. But you might be able to do those 2 home games. But Indiana and New York on a back-to-back, that's kind of tough to do, especially if you're at the point to where you secured the 1 seed and you're ready to rest. Now, another thing that might keep the Cavs going potentially is I do believe Oklahoma City was in a tight game today. Let me double check and see if Oklahoma City actually lost that game. Yeah, Oklahoma City lost to the Houston Rockets, who I think people should pay more attention to because they're actually really good, which brings them down to 64. The Cavs are at 62 wins. So I think that puts them 2 games down of Oklahoma City. So still within reach to get the best record in the NBA, but we're running out of time and opportunity. What does Oklahoma City's schedule look like the rest of the way down? Is it difficult? I don't believe it is, but let me look. Okay, so Oklahoma City plays the Lakers twice, Phoenix, Utah, New Orleans. So you're really going to need the Lakers to pull through for you. If the Lakers can pull through for you, win 2 in a row versus Oklahoma City, and maybe Phoenix can give them a surprise, then maybe the Cavs have a chance to get the best record. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's what the Cavs have done. Win over the Spurs. Spectacular game from DeAndre Hunter and Evan Mobley. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have a better night. Peace.